So welcome to Fax TV. We've had a week off for the Challenge Cup. Did Leeds United win?
We've not won since the last game, no. Bad night last night, Bradford City, and we was poor last weekend at Watford, so that's the way it goes.
Wrong shaped ball, Karl.
Right shaped ball, wrong team.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the other shape, eh?
Yes.
A couple of weeks ago, we had the game we were building up to. It's basically the first half, wasn't it? The first half, one wing. I'm going to use the word fell apart without getting punched in the face from yourself. What happened?
First 15 minutes, we came out of the blocks cold. Couldn't get any field position. Featherstone played the field good. Found a weakness in our system and exploited it very, very well. And by the time we'd adjusted, we were 20 points down. It was a tough one. It's a tough one. And but after the first 50 minutes, there was literally nothing between the teams. Even in the first half, before they scored, Braycheck gets ankle tapped on their try line, and the game could have been so different, but it wasn't. And we underperformed. Extremely disappointed, myself and everybody. I think we'd all built it up that was going to win, but Featherstone had a big say in that, and they needed to win just as much as we did. And as I said after the game, it's not the end of the season. Disappointing as it may be, we've still got 2 more games, and which makes it more interesting. And we've got a tough one this weekend against Doncaster, which obviously they're fighting for the 3rd spot themselves now. We're still fighting for the 2nd spot if Sheffield and Keighley can do us a favour. But Featherstone are a good solid team, and they've invested hundreds of thousands of pounds, should we say, into their playing squad and coaching system, and that's not to say we can't beat them.
What was it though that happened? Did the big crowd put too much pressure on, or was it a case of there certain players who just didn't come out of the blocks right that caused the issue? Because there was down one particular side.
They were considered 4 exact same tries. I'm not going to point the bone at anybody. That's a private thing in team meetings and what have you. But it was disappointing. We'd trained particularly well. We'd warmed up for the game particularly well, and just Featherstone just came out a little bit hungrier, probably, a little bit smarter, and they took the chances. And in big games, you've got to take your chances, and they did. We didn't. Disappointing as it is.
Let me play devil's advocate here. We played Leeds twice. Did well, really, but we've still lost.
Probably should have beaten Leeds twice.
We've played Featherstone twice now. Both teams above us. What does that say about our season? Why have we not been able to actually put them to bed? We had the league game at the beginning of the year, which we thought we could have put to bed, which didn't happen. Is it been our mentality?
Various things. Experienced players. Featherstone, a lot of experienced players. Lee, a lot of experienced players. We're a relatively young team, and still developing. They've both had, and people think it's a bit of a cop out, both Featherstone and Lee have had major more investment in their systems than we have as a playing group. They've got settled training facilities. The week leading to the Featherstone game, we didn't even have a field to train on with lines on it, which is disappointing. There's just things like that, and we've struggled on for a few years, but we're not making excuses. We need to do our job, and we played particularly well. In the last 9 weeks, we'd lost 1 game out of 10, and the season's still not dead. Yes, it was extremely important the club finished 2nd for the monetary side of it, but the main thing our players focus now is the grand final, and that's what we need to focus on. And if we can win our next 2 and the other teams do a job on Featherstone for us, we could still finish 2nd, but we need to look after ourselves and not worry about anybody else. We need to get our house in order before we start looking at anywhere else.
How do we get our house in order, with 2 games left? Is Doncaster the big challenge that it is? the right type of game we should be playing next. Put some demons to bed against a very, very good side. Because Cookie has that side moving so well. I mean, they have beat Leigh this season. They don't seem to beat them in our championship.
They're a good team, and they've used the dual reg system, should we say, extremely well. They're playing now with Ben Crooks and Miller. And these are both six-figure players, salary-wise, playing in the championship, which gives them... It's a different level of player to what we have. I don't mean that disrespectful to our players, because we've got a super group of players who will get better and better in time. And you know, we're looking at next season recruitment process, and there will be some people go in, but there'll be some people coming in as well, and that's well underway, should we say. But we need to finish the season strong. Just disappointed with all the negativity about after that game. Nobody means to perform so poorly, and we performed poorly for 20 minutes, and people said the players didn't try. Well, I can assure the people the players did try, but we just weren't quite there at the races that day, and got beat.
Again, I'm going to play advocate here. There's obviously a big difference between having the fire in your belly and a desire, but not being at the races, so to speak. What does that? Is it the opposition? They just click quicker as soon as that whistle blows, and we just came, was it, dare I say, demoralised? Or was it this case of, they just got it right, and we just couldn't fix that hole?
Well, we did fix the hole, but after it was too late. It took us 15 minutes to change things, and the people who were defending out there, you know, if we bring them off after 4 minutes of the game because it didn't work, it makes them look stupid as well. And they didn't mean it. We just thought it'd go, but it just didn't happen. Why were Leeds so good at the Challenge Cup final last week against Castleford? Castleford a good team. Why didn't Castleford win? Because Leeds on the day was slightly better, and on the day against us 2 weeks ago, Featherstone was slightly better. I wouldn't say a great deal better, they were slightly better.
And was there an element of, possibly one of our old demons, the completion, when we were attacking up their end? There were some things that just didn't come off, was there? I mean, there was one particular ball I remember, we could have probably scored, but it was straight past Tommy Saxton and went straight out, and we probably weren't that far away from the line.
Well, so there'll be a few things, instances in the game that, excuse me, where we could have took a chance and didn't, whether that's a lack of skill, lack of execution, nerves, whatever it was, the weather, the conditions, the footwork, it just never happened, and nobody's pointing the ball at any of the players because they give everything they had.
So when you come to pick the team for the Doncaster game, when that type of player doesn't come off, does that count as a black mark against them for the following week? So when you look at form, or does it come down to just a training issue? So if it was a company, for example, the company would say, you've done that wrong, we'll train you up and we'll make sure you don't do it again next week.
Well, that's what we do every week.
But what about the players in the wings? And when I say in the wings, I mean the fringe players, not wingers.
You mean the guys who are behind? Well, I think you'll be seeing some of them this weekend, because some of the guys who played last week weren't quite there, and it's only fair. I've always said, if you're in the team, you've got to play well to keep your spot, and if you're slightly off, somebody else gets a chance, and that's what happened to Gareth Potts. He took his chance at the right time, and it cost Peter Fox his position. That's not to say Peter Fox won't come in the team this week, but you need a little bit of honesty and trust in your camp, and the players trust me, and how we do things. We work extremely hard, and nobody's as disappointed as what I am and the players are that we got beaten, but we're working hard to rectify the little frailties we have, and they are little frailties.
I understand the lads had a holiday afterwards.
Well, then I won't say holiday, then a few days off.
A few days off. Was that needed at this time of year, ready for Doncaster? Was that, if anything, because of the result, a bit of good timing to rebuild for Doncaster? Did that give you some time? Because you must have had a couple of days off surely yourself.
Everybody's had a couple of days off. We need to get away from one another. I think it's just the way it works now around the Challenge Cup time. I think most teams, most clubs have a few days off just to try and refresh the batteries before either the relegation battles or the push for the playoff positions, and that's what we've done. We've gone away, we've come back this week, and we're nice and fresh, and everybody's looking forward to Doncaster.
Keimo's a lovely stadium, lovely pitch. Compared to some of the
soulless, I'd say.
So, compared to some of the grounds in the Championship, without being disrespectful to anybody particular, but pitch-wise, it's going to be a pitch that's going to help us for like maybe our kicking game. I mean, it's not super big.
It's probably the same size as the Shea, which is a big field. But it also helps them, you know, they've got 2 or 3 extremely good kickers in their team. And they play an expansive game of rugby league, you know, Paul Cook, quality half-back as he is. I played in Paul Cook's debut when he was a 16-year-old. He's still a quality player at this level, and he can make that ball do a lot of talking. And he's got an Australian half-back with him, Mullen, he's got Spav in it, okay, you know, they're good players at this level, and they've a lot of teams, and you know, people have thought Doncaster are going to keep dropping away this season, but they've not dropped on. They're right there, and they're right up there with us. And you know, they've probably spent about the same amount of money as we spent, as of Dewsbury and Battlers of the world. We're in that bracket at the moment on our spend.
Does that, if anything, change not only because of the result from Featherstone? Does it change our type of play? Do we come out all fighting? Are we able to have the team that we can attack fire with fire, so to speak? Because we brought Brownie in for the Featherstone game. Did you feel that worked? Because the 3 pivot worked before he got injured. Did we see enough of Simon Brown on the pitch to see if it would work again without obviously giving too much away?
No, so Simon did okay. He was in the area where we conceded tries, and we rectified that by swapping sides with him. Not for us, man. I don't think we should go too much into that anymore now. We know we pick a team on what we see in training and on the games, on what the coaching staff feels right for that particular game, and that's what we did. And if we got it wrong as coaches, so be it, but nothing was done on purpose.
And I expect now it's just a case of getting the next 2 weeks out of the way, and it's playoff time.
No, because we're building now for this season, and we're also thinking of next season. You know, there's lots of rugby teams, rugby clubs are just evolving all the time. Everything's changing all the time, and try to get better, bring new structures in, just be better at what you do, and that's what we do. We work extremely hard as a group of people.
Can we talk about next season a little bit?
Yeah.
How, for something that's such an unknown for next year, how do you recruit with teams like Bradford and London who seem to be signing like they're still in Super League because they've got the budget?
Yes.
How do we prepare for something which is so unknown? Are we just preparing ourselves to play hard as hell again next year? Because the topic of the RFL is every minute counts.
Well, every minute does count, and we're an ambitious team, an ambitious club, and we know we want to get in that middle 8. Now, to get in that middle 8 next season, you've got to reach the top 4 of the bottom 12. And in that 12, you know, there's Bradford, there's London, there's Leigh, there's Featherstone, there's Sheffield, there's ourselves, there's Doncaster, there's Dewsbury who's spending money for fun. You know, it's going to be a tough competition to get. For us to get in that top 4, it's going to be really, really hard. We've not got the income streams we used to have at this club. Things have moved on, so therefore we have to be smarter. We recruit in a different way, we need different things, and that's what we looked at. There'll be no names announced at all until the season's finished, and I think that's right.
Do you have to look at pre-season differently? How you use the players, you utilise the training, compared to the teams who are full-time, who can just come middle of the day and crack on?
Well, we need to be more. We need to be the best part-time team there.
How do you do such a thing? Or is it a case of you're going to have to see when it comes to it and tweak it?
Well, we forget, you know, people think, well, all our players work, and a lot of them travel probably 67 miles to come to training on a night, trying to get in, so we've got to manage their bodies as well. But next season, we know a pre-season has been planned, whether things change between now and then, who knows, but we need to certainly go to 4 nights training next year for this club to be given any chance at all of competing with the 3 full-time clubs, which is Leigh, Bradford and London.
And the players who are sort of staying, I assume we've already spoken to them and got commitment for them to the 4 nights.
No.
No?
There's no commitment there, you know, they're under contract, and if they want to be in the team, no, we recruit good people, we recruit smart people, and that's what we need to do.
And what about the facilities then? What you mentioned earlier.
Well, again, that's ongoing. Since I've been back at the club, you know, we've struggled for facilities. We've had a great relationship with Calderdale College, and we've got a great relationship with East Rugby Union and Trinity to a certain extent, but we need a base where we can train.
What is it? Is it a field or?
Well, we need a field.
3G or?
We need a field with grass and lines and lights which isn't underwater. So from November to April, it's out of condition because it's underwater. It's in the floodplain. Therefore, we can only commit to Calderdale College for a couple of nights. Firstly, because of money, and secondly, because of their bookings as well. They're open to the community. So we have struggled to find venues to train at. We're not allowed to go on this thing. The first time this season, our new players came on the field was for the friendly game. They'd never been on the field before the friendly, which is difficult. Like most other clubs have some type of facility. It's hard for you, and it's frustrating because we've got a good gymnasium at the club, but everything else is away from the club, so there's lots of travelling around. We've not even got an office. We've got an office where we can sit down with players and talk to them. We use a terracing. Now, people don't know all this, and I might be shooting off and saying things I shouldn't say, but it's how I feel. People don't understand what's going on behind the scenes.
Well, this is why we're here. This is what Fax TV fans.
And I'm being as honest as I can. What we've got, we do extremely well.
And it's all about, I think smart is the word of the day.
Smart and committed.
Well, fans, we need you there for Sunday, and I think what Karl said, I think it's precisely right. We need to be smart and we need to be committed. And it's all about momentum now. There's been momentum out already, but the momentum is to start again. Karl, very, very best good luck for Sunday, and see if we can get this horse going again.
Let's try.